Mallory Hunt, Run RX. So tonight we're going to talk about running form. So we're going to call this Running 101. And so most runners, when they first get into running, what are the top mistakes most runners make? Well, most runners go straight to running. They go get the running shoes, they go get the running gear, and then they want to just go out there and start running. And by the way, we're encouraged to do that, right? Just do it. Just put one foot in front of the other. Just go, right? Just get started. And, by the way, that's a huge commitment. And believe me, I don't belittle that at all. Like getting started, just the thought of going running, all of it is very exciting. So I agree with that thought of just do it. However, I want you to think about, if I'm going to be a runner, I should also think about how to do it. And this is the mistake. This is where people kind of skip this step. And what I mean by that is we get excited about running, and then most of us think we really kind of know how to run, right? Because, either you ran at some point in a sport, or maybe you ran in high school or college even. But the reality is most of us don't see running as a movement that needs to be learned. We don't see running as a skill. We see running as something we should all know how to do. And if we have the right gear, we should be able to do it. And then if we just do it more frequently, we should be even better at doing it. So most runners, what we hear is just keep going. Just run more. Just get out there. And again, I never want to belittle that because, of course, I'm one of those people. I want to get out there. I want to feel good. I just want to tell you that before you put that thought out there for yourself, think first, well, what is running? Because then I can prepare for running, right? And so that's really important. And so, by the way, guys, when I very first got into running, I was a recreational runner. I had never run a race. I was a gym person. I did personal training. I taught group fitness. I ran recreationally. Like I actually would run to class or run from my house to go teach a fitness class, I didn't think about anything of running, but just running. Everybody knows how to run. And it wasn't until I started signing up for races myself and then coaching other people, and then we started seeing injuries. I started getting injured. My runners were getting injured. Was the first time I even thought, maybe there's a way of moving that could be more efficient so we wouldn't have to get these running injuries. I'm not kidding. It was like, I couldn't believe the injuries I was seeing, and the people that I've been training, and inside we weren't seeing the same injuries. So just, again, this was really new, again, almost 30 years ago. And so what happens is we just want to go running. We don't know that there's a way to move better. So that's usually why I think that is skipped. So we get our shoes and we go out, and unfortunately we're still seeing so many running injuries. So I want you to think first, what is running? So running is free falling. Isn't that fun? So running itself is letting the body free fall. So there's momentum, of course. The body free falls through space, and you have the job of pulling your foot up from the ground to let that free fall continue. So your feet are actually keeping up with your falling body. Isn't that neat? Like a ball rolling down, right? Center of your body is the center of the ball. It's rolling down the street, and your feet are pulling up to keep up with your falling body. Isn't that neat? And running, by the way, does not have an accepted standard of movement. This is important for you to understand. However, it is understood and accepted that running has a flight phase. Running has a ground phase and a flight phase. And in the flight phase, both feet need to be off the ground. Otherwise, you're walking. By the way, like in Olympic walking, that's a big thing. What separates walking from running is in walking, both feet can be on the ground. Running, both feet need to be off the ground. Only one foot can be on the ground. This is so important, by the way. That definition, that separation of running and walking makes all the difference. And this is because if you start to think about running, and again, I just told you, running is free falling. You're probably not going to see that anywhere else, but it's a great thought. It really is. Your body is actually, that's how it's moving. It's free falling. Gravity's got it. And then your job is to pull your foot. Running is accepted to have 2 gait cycles, on the ground, in flight. So what I do is I teach the ground gait cycle. So now you know what running is. And running, again, accepted by definition, is both feet have to be off the ground in the flight phase. All right, there's your technical running. So that is what is running. Second, how do I get better at running? How do I get more efficient at running? That's really key, because now I know what running is. I know running is free falling, and I need to pull my foot to keep up with my falling body. So how do I improve? How do I get better? Well, just so you know, guys, I'm going to make a whole video. My second video is going to be on the gait cycle on the ground that we do, and I will take you through the practice. But now you can start thinking about, to be more efficient in running, I need to add running practice. And that usually isn't a thought. Like, people think about warming up maybe. Like, I need to do some warm up, I need to do some stretching, I need to do some strength exercises, which absolutely you do. However, what are the purposes of those exercises? You see? So, I mean, I could stretch my hip, and my hip could be really mobile. I could have a lot of range of motion in my hip. But if I go out running and I have a movement error and my movement is wrong, then just stretching my hip, unfortunately, isn't going to help me get better at the movement. So this is really important, and this is why, to get more efficient at running, you increase and add, because maybe you're already doing some, running practice, practicing the movement of running. And so this is, of course, what we're going to give you in the next video. And the movement of running is that gait cycle, is that pulling action, pulling your foot up from the ground. And the best part is there's drills to practice. So the third thing is, okay, now I know what running is. That was first. Now I know how I'm going to get more efficient. I'm going to get more efficient by adding practice, adding running practice through these series of drills. Again, like I said, we're going to give you some of those in that next video. And then number 3, because the reason people, again, the big mistake we make when we start running is really, we're going out there and we're doing too much, right? Because we just think more is better. If I just keep going out there, I'm just going to get better. My advice to you as a new runner, Runner 101, is ease into your running. And the best way to do it is 2 ways. One, do a mix of practice. That, remember, we're gonna practice our run. So have a day, or even 2 days, where you do a practice session. You go out, you do a drill, you run a little, you full stop, you reset. The reset can be any length of time. It's like an interval. You stop, you rest, you get your heart rate down, reset, do another drill, and then you run again. So that's practice. I call that run practice. And then the second way is conditioning, right? Because we do want to get conditioning. We do want to be able to run more miles. So then the second way is you go out and you go run, drill, walk. Drill, run, walk. See, so you start to rotate. Run, drill, walk. Drill, run, walk. So then you're moving, right? And then the best part, by the way, we are going to do a Runner X walking video. So I will talk about the pose method of walking, which is really important, especially if you're a new runner, to work on your walking movement and your running movement, since usually you put those together. So this is really important, because if I'm going to ease into running and I start thinking about running as having a training day, a practice day, then it's really valuable. So when you go out that day, and you can set, I tell people, set the timer for 20, 30 minutes. Go somewhere where you can stop and reset. And, you do a drill, you run a little, stop, and you reset. And just so you know, over time, you will have to stop less, because, of course, as you get more efficient in your run, you will be able to run longer. All of that good stuff comes in. All of that stuff. The stride length, pace, speed, distance, all of that conversation then you can have all that conversation once you're efficient at running. That's the best part, is because then you're progressing in your running first. And then I'm telling you, then you're going to get faster, you can run longer. Then you talk about race training, all of those things come in. But just keep that in mind, that if the top three things you think about when you get started running, first, what is running? What is running? Running is free falling, letting your body free fall and you pulling your foot up, right? And the second thing, how do I get more efficient? How do I get better at running? Well, I'm going to work on running itself, on that gait cycle, on being able to hold my line, on being able to pull my foot, and all of those things require skill, strength, and self-care. So that's where all of those exercises you see come in, the drills, all of that stuff that goes with running that has to happen, the foot strength, the ankle strength, the mobility, you name it, all of that happens to keep you more efficient at your running, of course. So keeping that in mind, that's going to be my main things. And then, of course, the third is how I ease in, right? I'm going to put all that together to ease into my running. And the more you put all that together, then I'm telling you, your progression is so much better for your run. You're going to prevent injuries, you're going to get more efficient, you're going to get, all the things you want in running, all of those things will happen if you just take that time in the beginning to do that practice. All right, guys, I will see you on the next video to take you through the practice demo. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you if you've already subscribed. If you haven't, I hope you do. And please share if you want to help others run pain-free. Thank you.